It happened on a dark, late autumn night, when the wind howled through the old window frames as if someone had forgotten to close the edge of the world. That evening, Dom returned to the old house he had inherited from his grandmother. Remote, moss-covered, nestled deep among damp birch woods. One of those houses that seemed to remember more than they ever wished to tell. He was tired. Not from the journey, but from life. Fleeing the city noise, the overwhelming stream of human presence he could no longer bear. Here, in this wooden house, he hoped to find silence and time for himself. Maybe even remember what he once believed in. But from the very first moment, the house felt wrong. As if someone was watching, yet had no eyes. Dom paced the room, placed his old suitcase in a corner, lit the fireplace, brewed some hot tea, and sat at the old wooden table. From his pocket, he took out a photo of his grandmother, standing by this very place, gazing into the woods as if asking something unseen. That evening, he smiled at the memory, how she used to warn him when he was a child.
If you hear knocking at night, don't answer. And most importantly, never, ever leave the door ajar. Not for anyone, not even if they beg.
As a child, those words sounded like old superstition, but now they echoed differently, like a warning he couldn't shake off. At midnight, the silence was broken by knocking. Dom froze and looked at the clock. 15 minutes past midnight. A shiver ran through him. He glanced at the door. The handle didn't move, but cold seeped from the door. He stood, approached, peeked through the window. Nothing. Just the wind between branches. The door was closed, but not locked. And the knocking repeated, soft, persistent. He placed his hand on the handle, froze, remembered his grandmother's words.
If you want to live, child, shut the door. Doors are more than wooden planks. They're an invitation.
But fears of childhood now seemed laughable. This wasn't the Middle Ages. He gripped the handle, turned it, and opened the door just a crack. A girl stood outside, about 10 years old, head bowed, hair soaked from the fog, strands clinging to pale cheeks. Her dress swayed gently in the night wind.
Please, I'm lost. Can I come in?
Dom froze. His heart pounded, mouth dry, fingers numb. But logic fought through the fear. Maybe a neighbor's child? Maybe something happened? But the nearest neighbors were 6 kilometers away.
Who are you? How did you get here?
They called me.
Then lifted her eyes. Dom recoiled. Her eyes were entirely black. No pupils, just darkness, wet, deep, swallowing the light. Her face pale, lips barely parted, voice like glass over velvet.
You left the door ajar. You let me in.
The door flung wide open as if from an explosion. A gust of freezing air surged in, extinguishing every candle in the room. The tea in the cup shivered. The house filled with a strange, silent hum, as if the mind itself was buzzing. And then he saw her fully. There were no legs beneath her, only a trailing shadow that glided across the floor. Her face, blurred, like a memory one cannot retrieve. The next morning, the house was silent. Dom was gone, no trace. Only every door left ajar, as if someone had carefully opened each one. And on the table, a photo of his grandmother, with words visible on the back. If the door is ajar, they are already inside.